Hi, everybody. This is Jen Berbas with the Berbas Group in Austin, Texas, coming to you to review the June real estate numbers for the Austin area. We always talk about how real estate is hyper local and hyper situational. We frequently have conversations where, for one seller, the right move is to sell, and for another client, the right move is to hang on to a property. And that's what we mean by it's hyper situational. We had a situation this last month where we helped a client figure out through some spreadsheet work that the equity that they had in their investment property was making them about 11% yield. And that's a fantastic return, right? Most people in the retirement accounts can make somewhere between 6% and 9%, depending on what they're invested in. But for these clients that approached us about selling this investment property, it was a property that had 3 units. They were already getting 11%. So the answer for them was not to sell the property. Then at the same time, there's other people who might not have a mortgage. The property isn't leveraged anymore. And their $1.5 million house they've owned for 30 years is completely paid off. Well, that money would probably do better for them in a retirement account at 5 to 7% than waiting for the Austin market to give them 3%, because at this point they aren't leveraged. So that's what we mean by it's hyper situational. When we say it's hyper local, what we're talking about is the inventory in every area is so different. I was going to go over a couple examples of that today. I just thought it might be interesting. But first, let's go over the numbers. Total sales in the Austin MSA are up 8%. This is a huge change. I'm going to show you the dollar value as well here pretty shortly. Total sales from last month are up 8% this year versus the same time last year. Just incredible. And total under contract and pending is up 8.8%. I'm going to show you a chart of single family homes within 12 miles of downtown, and you can see just week by week how that's been increasing. Average days on market is 76 days this week, this year versus last year. I would venture that, there's a lot more to it than that, right? This could be condos are up quite a bit while single family homes aren't. And so for every single transaction, it's important to drill down into that type of product. But on average, 76 days on market this year, almost the same as last year. But I think there's a lot about the market that feels very different than last year. Our months of inventory is up to 4.8 when last year this time it was 3.5 months of inventory. Again, you have to dive into the details of this. There's a lot, a lot of contradictory information. The most interesting thing about this chart, this is single family homes 12 miles from downtown. The top line is available inventory. The orange line, the second line, is pending in the last 30 days, and it's a rolling pending for the 30 days. We have 2,250 homes available on the market, single family homes, versus last year that was closer to 2,700 this week last year. And so we're down 29% in available inventory, which is a dramatic shift. And buyers are feeling that. Depending on the neighborhood where our buyers are looking, they are running into multiple offer situations, which if you're looking at the data we just looked at and saying that, Austin days on market is higher than last year, and months of inventory is higher than last year. You may think that you're walking into very much a buyer's market. But if you're looking at single family homes in the central area of the city, that really isn't the case. You can also do a quick and dirty months of inventory from this chart as well. And this implies somewhere right around 4 months of inventory is available currently on the market. And then we just talked about months of inventory. Austin citywide is closer to 5. So, much stronger market than we're seeing on a citywide level. And I think one of the reasons why is condominiums. This is the inventory chart for condos in the Austin MSA. This skews the data a little bit. We are seeing 8 months of inventory in condominiums. Just to put it in perspective, 4 to 6 months of inventory is considered a balanced market. So this is very, very much a buyer's market. Talking about June data and how pendings are up 7 to 8% over this time last year. They were much higher than last year, and then with lower inventory levels as well. So pretty good success selling single family homes. Pending units by month. This is basically a a simpler version of what we were collecting, what we saw in the last chart, which is a weekly snapshot of this. But pendings are up 8%. We expect this to drop off here as we go into July and August. Really, really normal. It's kind of funny. I always feel like we have this lull in July, and then there's this little bit of pickup. August, September, it's a tiny little bit of pickup, usually for a week or two before we really settle down, before we go into the holiday season. We are already starting to talk to some sellers about a sale next spring. There's people that come and talk to us like a year prior, which we think is great because it's really stressful for people to sell their homes. And there's a lot of planning that goes into it. And if they start understanding the process a year early, then they'll be ready for a spring sale. For those people coming to us this fall, wanting to get on the market this fall, we are trying to encourage them to do that rather quickly. We think that if you are not sold by Halloween, it's best to just hold off for the new year. You get better results. So total number of sales is up 8%. The average sales price is also up 5.9%. Average sold price going up to 616,000. This can mean a lot of different things. This doesn't mean everybody's house went up 6%, right? It could be a change in the mix of what is selling. Maybe a lot more homes in the $2 to $4 million range are selling, and that's moving the needle here on the average sold price. So we just have to be careful when we use these broad numbers. It could mean very, very different things about the submarkets. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. When we're talking about hyper local, we want to know what are the months of inventory in your neighborhood, right? And so we have this really great tool that we love to dive into. This is Hyde Park. This is the historic district of Hyde Park as well as North Hyde Park. And this is months of inventory. So while we're looking at something close to 5 months of inventory citywide, including condominiums, for Hyde Park, we're actually looking at 3.6 months of inventory just for single family homes. And for a lot of areas, if you pull out the condominiums, you can see a huge difference in months of inventory. So I went ahead and did this for 78703. Pemberton, Clarksville, Old West Austin, Tarrytown are all in this zip code. So 5.6 months of inventory. But if you know the area well, you also understand that there are a lot of older condos in this area. So let's take out the condominiums and look at just single family homes. And it changes dramatically to about 3.7 months of inventory. Again, 4 to 6 months of inventory is considered a balanced market. So we're starting to creep into a seller's market if we're just looking at single family homes in this area. Thanks so much for spending the time with me. Love chatting with you guys about Austin real estate data. Let me know if there's anything we can do to help you and support you in your real estate endeavors. Talk to you soon.